To adopt us. Now, you and I would select carefully when we went in a room. I don't know about that one. That one too tall. That one too small. That one don't look right. I don't want that one. She got big eyes. He got little feet. I don't want that one. That's how we select. But Jesus was the one given so that you and I could be reconciled. So God sends his son. Go back to the garden. When we go back to the garden, we recognize that we were here before, y'all. Can I get deep on you this morning? We were here before. We were in relationship with God before. So when we came on earth through marriage and relationship, we still were separate. We were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. Can I take my time, Daryl? The reality is you and me, we all jacked up. We all messed up, but we needed to be adopted. We needed to be reconciled with who God is. In order to be reconciled to God, you needed to be in relationship with Jesus. So he sends Jesus, who stands between you and God. Look, God, that's my brother. That's my sister, meaning he doesn't see me. Sister, when he sees the God that dwells inside of me, and when God sees his son inside of me, he says, okay, I'm going to bring you on in. I'm going to bring you on home. So then we become joint heirs with Jesus. Jesus is an heir, and I'm a joint heir with him. Because of him, I have access to the promises of who God is. Because of him, I have access to God healing and delivering me. Because of him, I have access. Now, why is this important? Why is she screaming about adoption? Why does this even matter? It matters because in adoption, you receive the spirit of adoption. That means God's spirit now becomes something that dwells on the inside. Because of his spirit dwelling on the inside, you have access to benefits. Hello, somebody? The benefit of who God is going to be in your life, blocking the things that the world tries to bring against you. The text says today, it talks to you about not being conformed by the world. Earlier in that chapter, don't do what they doing out there. Don't act like they acting, but sometimes you can't help it. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Sometimes you get around the wrong spirit. There's spirits in other folk that, like when I get to work and somebody don't feel too good that day, you could just be sick. I was talking to my daughter this morning. She said, Mom, I don't know if her husband was sick because he was in the house and she don't feel good, or if he was sick because she was mad at him and he went somewhere and God made him sick. Oh, y'all missed that. She wasn't feeling good, but her husband had left and went somewhere. Later on, he wasn't feeling good. What y'all quiet this morning? He wasn't feeling good. So in her mind, she was thinking, he should have been nice to me. Come on, y'all. You at work, the boss treats you nasty. The next day, the boss is out for 2 weeks. And you start thinking to your, should have treated me. That don't happen to none of y'all. You driving in a car, somebody speed past you because you was going too slow. And the next thing you know, they pulled over. The po-po done came out. But No, that ain't happening to none of y'all. Okay. You ever see somebody in the grocery store, their kids is acting up and they about to pop them in the store and you're like, And then next thing you know, your kids start acting. Put Junior in the car. Now, y'all know y'all can't do that. This season is hot outside. Don't lock them. Okay, all right. I need you to know that how you get locked in, how you get tied up and tangled in God is through the Spirit of God. Can I talk? The Spirit of God comes upon you, but the only way it comes upon you is when you're in relationship with God. You need Jesus to be in relationship with God. Am I talking to anybody? We have denominations and groups of people that believe certain things, and everybody says simple stuff like, well, it's simple. I just believe in God. I don't believe in all that other stuff. I'm just believing in God. No. It's important for you to understand that we have to be joint heirs with Jesus. Why is Jesus so relevant? Because God created himself in flesh, came down here so that he could show you that no matter what you're going through, no matter how you feel, no matter what ups and downs come your way, you can be reconnected with God. Now, in the garden, They ate of some fruit. Y'all remember Eve? I like her. Eve, she ate something that she thought looked good. She ate something after talking with the world, made her feel, I can do that. I can have, you know what, it's going to be all right, God, I'm just going to eat it. And she shared it. So I need you to understand that disconnected and disqualified us right there from relationship with God. But later on, God has to put something in place for us to be reconnected and able to receive what he has for us. So when his spirit comes upon you, you can receive what? His promises. When his spirit comes upon you, then you can receive his practices. When his spirit comes upon you, then you can receive his presence. It's important for you to understand that you can't just arbitrarily decide, I want to be in relationship. God calls to you. Oh, y'all missed that? God calls to you. You know, people in church, they be like, well, you know what? I think I'm going to get saved. That's not how that works. God is talking to you. The Spirit of God is in the house. And when you're in the house, he's able to whisper some things like your stomach be hurting. You ever be in church? Your stomach start hurting. Like, I need to go to the bathroom. I don't want to go here. Oh, y'all don't mind? You just bring something in your purse, spray it. No. Some of us hold it. Well, maybe it's just me. I'm sorry. You go to stop on the side of the road and just go to the bathroom? No. You're not serious about taking your clothes off? Listen, I need to get home so I can get comfortable. And then I get myself ready in the bathroom. That's why it's a problem when you start going home and you just ate something and it don't agree with you and you can't get to the house on time. I know y'all act like, don't even smile, don't say nothing. You know what I mean. When you pulling in the yard and you think you on time, Sister Valerie, and you trying to get out and you're like, oh, Lord, can't find the keys. But you know your stomach is bubbling. You know, okay, none of y'all, I know this side, that don't happen to that side. It might happen to this. Y'all with me over here? Where you just can't get there when you need to get there. That is showing you how you have to have something that you can depend on. Because for me, I start praying. Right now, Lord, oh, Jesus, oh, Father, hold on now. Help me out here so I get these keys, so I can get in the house, so I can get comfortable, so God can do what he wants to do. What happens to you and I is we're uncomfortable in the world. Things are happening out there, and we need to get in the house. Oh, y'all don't understand what I'm saying. So there's a spirit of adoption that when you get in there, you don't need no key. You're already connected. You don't need nobody to give you no passcode. You already a joint heir with Jesus. He already made a way for you out of no way. He already went up on the cross and died for you so that you could talk to God and have relationship and receive his presence. So I'm not lost. Now, the thing about adoption is this. A lot of times when we get adopted, there's a stigma on adoption. Am I right? But, oh, you was adopted? They didn't want you? There's all kinds of reasons why people get adopted. There's maybe somebody passes away and they can't take care of you. Maybe they can't afford it, so they gave you away. Maybe somebody else can be there. Either way, having a family is important. I'm going somewhere. So we have about 56,000 children per year that don't get adopted. They don't get adopted, Jackie. What happens to people that don't get adopted or children? What happens is this. They age out. They have a word, the little cliche talking about aged out. So when you're called a legal adult. Am I talking to you? A legal adult. So a legal adult means no one has to adopt you. But the problem with that is you don't have a family. Hello, somebody? I'm trying to help you. Now you don't have a family. And if you don't have a family, you have a difficulty building a family of your own. You need proof? All these children that don't have both parents in the house. Something happens when they try to get out there and do what they see other people do but don't really know what it takes. So now you don't understand how to operate in the responsibilities of family. Okay, because this is deep. when you come to church, it's a family. Are you with me? If you haven't been acquainted with family life, you don't know how to act. Let me prove it. You ever go to church and hear somebody say, I'm just going to church and then I'm going home. I don't really like everybody there. I just want to come in and get some word and go home. But then you see other people mixing with, hey, praise the Lord. It's so good to see you today. God bless. Hey, girl, I see you. Let me get what? But then there's those other, excuse me. Praise God. Come on, boy. And they go out the door. They don't understand the benefits of being in the family. They don't understand that sometimes you stay a little later and you talk and you might overhear somebody say, girl, yeah, I'm looking for somebody I can bless with a car because it's sitting in my driveway. They've been sitting there too long and you've been needing a car. Or on my job, they fired 10 people. They looking to hot. You see how that works? The relationship opens doors. In the spirit realm, it works like this. The Spirit of God rests on you and favor begins to follow you. So now you would, hey, girl, let me take you to lunch today. That's favor. Somebody bless you. Let me put some says once you become adopted, you are the sons and daughters of God. So you become children of God and you get benefits from God's family and not the family that you used to be connected to. Now, I got some jacked up folk in my family. Hello, somebody. I love them, but I want the benefits of God's family. I got some folk that don't always do right, that don't always forgive, that don't always love, that don't always become a blessing. I want the benefits of the family members I have in God. I still deserve God's blessing. So in the text, he's saying, what you need to know is this. If you connect with that old family, and I'm talking about in the spirit realm, you might not get what you need. Some of us, we're still trying to hold on to relationships we should have cut off a long time ago. Some of us are still trying to make our biological family connect with us and love us. God loves you just the way you are. God made you, and he understands you just dusty. You know what I mean. You came from the dust of the ground. He understands what he created you to do. So now he said, reconnect with me. Get locked in with me. To be locked in is to enjoy the presence of the Lord. To be locked in is to receive the fruit of the Lord, his spirit dwelling. I don't have to be angry all the time. I don't always have to have an attitude. I don't have to fight for myself. The only thing he needs me to do is stand. In order to be locked in, his spirit has to dwell inside of you. You ever see somebody that say, I'm saved, but their attitude didn't change? Nuh-uh. They just got finished cussing everybody out, telling me, I love Jesus. Just because I said, hello, let me help you. You might love him, but you're not acting like him. Hello? How do you profess someone that you're not imitating? Your kids get out of line. I know I didn't got to the next generation with my grandkids, and they come in. Be like, when we get in here, y'all remember this? Don't ask for nothing. Don't touch nothing. Don't look at nothing. You tell them before you go, because they're yours. And you can do that. Now, if you went in and see somebody else's child, I'm like, you need to beat her. Is that not what you want to say when you see somebody's child acting up? Particularly us. You want me to take her for a little bit? Ain't that what we try to do? We think that we can help somebody else's situation when we're struggling with our own. But in order to be locked in, because when I'm locked in, I receive the benefits. When I'm locked into God, when I'm locked in and everything is good, when I'm locked in and I start looking like him, when I'm locked in and I start acting like him, when I'm locked in and I know that he loves me, when I'm locked in and I walk in his presence, when I'm locked in and sickness can't dwell, when I'm locked in, nothing shall come nigh my dwelling. When I'm locked in, I know that God is good all the time and all the time. When I'm locked in, I know weeping may endure only for a night, but joy comes. When I'm locked in, I know he was wounded for my transgressions and bruised for my iniquities. When I'm locked in, I know that he's still on the potter's wheel, working it out for me. All I need you to leave with today, all I need you to really receive today is that I'm adopted. Don't be ashamed. I'm adopted. Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. What my parents couldn't give me, what my family couldn't give me, what my friends couldn't give me, God could give me. What they couldn't do for me, God can do for me. And he's been doing it ever since. He brought me in, Sister Winnie, and he dusted me off. He washed me. He made me pure as white driven snow. And he let me know, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, I still love you. I still want to use you. It's never too late. Because I'm locked in. Anybody want to get locked in today? Because I know somebody thinking, okay, that's cute. Locked in. How do I get locked in? You get locked in by giving your life to Christ. You get locked in by saying, no longer me. I want you to live in me. You get locked in by killing your flesh and saying it don't got to always be my way. It could be, I'll have patience. You get locked in by giving up the things of the world and allowing God to reign supreme. Sometimes it feels like I got to give all that up, God, because you cannot see what you're gaining. Am I right? It's particularly when you're young, trying to get in God. I want to be in God, but it's corny, right? I want to be in God, but they don't do much. I want to be in God, but it doesn't match what's being offered out there. I need you to understand that that's on purpose. The end of this text, verse 17 says that you got to be in the suffering in order to gain the glory. That means there's going to be hard times. There's going to be days when you don't want to. There's going to be days when you just want to be like, Janae, I'm not giving you climb up on this truck and go drive it. I don't want to do it. But you know if you want to check at the end of the week, you're going to have to, hello? So that's the same thing when you're in relationship with God. If you need God to do something, you need to be obedient. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You promise your kids to go somewhere, and they all start acting up, and then you still go? No. You be like, oh, y'all go to bed. But it's 9 in the morning. Go to bed. Because they need consequences for their behavior. That's the same thing with me and you. If you want to receive the glory of God, the presence of God, you got to receive the suffering too. You got to go through the hard part. Jesus went on the cross. He didn't just come down here and be like, I'm Jesus. It's good. They're with me. No. He came and gave his life. He came and he was crucified. Anybody know what that feel like? No. You don't understand that sometimes they got to pick on you. Sister Victoria, sometimes they got to tell you no. Sometimes they got to make you feel lonely. They got to entrap you. It's necessary because then you realize that having God on your side is a blessing, that he still works miracles. Sometimes you got to get sick. Anybody know what I'm talking about? How many of us would not know that he was a healer if we never got sick? You wouldn't even know that he was an awesome God and can work miracles in your life if no trouble never came your way. But when the trouble comes your way, know that the devil is already defeated. God has already taken care of it. He's already overcome the enemy so that you can live. So I just came today to tell you that it's time to be locked in. It's time to stop playing with God. It's time to stop just being a drop-by saint. just calling him when you're sick. It's time to stop that and get locked in. You ever go to a mall and leave your car unlocked? This happened to me one time. We went to Georgia, and we were at the mall in Atlanta, and I thought I was doing something, went and got a couple things, and I had purchased this bag. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. At the time, my husband was still alive, and he waited outside, like on a bench. You know how your husband be like, I'll wait out, and go ahead, do what you're going to do, and come back. So he waited on the bench. So I thought that I was doing something, but I forgot that we shared the same email. So I went in the store, and I'm a frequent shopper, so they put the purchase, they emailed me my receipt. And he was sitting out in the lobby. So I came out, and I was like, okay, we can go. And so we were going, and he was like, he said, what you get? I was like, oh, just a little something. He was like, well, how much you spend? I said, not a lot. He said, did you spend over a certain amount or under? I said, just a little. I didn't want to lie, so I didn't clarify. I said, no, it wasn't. Yeah. So we still walking because I didn't get it yet that when they emailed me the receipt, he got the message. So I guess he was testing me to see if I would lie. I was trying hard, y'all. I was trying real hard. But that's not even the point of the story. Here's the point. I never clarified because I didn't know he knew. I found out later because I put the bag down. And I was still shopping, and I went in another store. And I put the bag down. And then I got done shopping, and I left. And when we got back to the hotel, I was looking for the bag. It's funny to me now because he's like, and he quoted to me how much I had just lost. And I said, like, how you know? How he know? See, what I'm trying to get at is, he was like God, I guess, because he was my husband. He's my king. And I didn't share or get permission. Are you with me? So something happened to what I had. That made me feel like I was suffering. Are you with me? So what really happened at the end was this. I went back to talk to them. And this is how I found out he knew. Because they said, do you have your receipt? And I said, no, you emailed it to me. And they said, oh, yeah, we did. Okay, well, we can look it up. They looked it up, and they were stopping anybody that tried to return the item. They would freeze the return by knowing that I purchased it. But I never got it back or anything like that. I was very upset. But I had to go back to him. And I had to say, you knew. Like, you knew when you ain't say nothing. So what I'm saying to you is God knows. And he's not saying anything because he's waiting for you. If you need to be connected to him, he wants you to be honest about where you are. He wants you to be honest about needing to reconnect. He wants you to say, you know what, I want to be locked in. Being locked in relationship really means you got to be trustworthy. Are you trustworthy? I got to admit I'm trustworthy. Like, I won't cheat. But I'm just saying, because I got to be real. That's my little personality. That's where God has to heal me at. And I need you to examine you today. Are you in a place where you could get locked in? Or are you still hiding some things? Are you still battling some things? Do you think that you got to be perfect to get in a relationship? Because you know that means none of us would be in any kind of relationship. Or are you willing to expose what you are and who you are so that as you grow, it gets better? Because now I'm honest, I'm revealing it to God. Maybe I'm not the best wife. Maybe I don't want to cook. Just an example. Maybe I'm not the best father. Maybe I'm not a nice person because I'm broken. Maybe I'm struggling with past trauma, and that makes me have difficulties in relationships. I'm closing because we're going to get to the baptism. But I need you to understand that you don't just show up in places by happenstance. No. Today, God was trying to show you that it's important to lock in. If you died today, do you know where you're going? Are you sure right now that when it's all over, you belong to Him? Him? I need us to stand all over the house. And I need us, if you would just stand. I'm done. Stand.